Hey guys, last week I did a video on how to be able to sense when somebody or something isn't right for you. And when you just get that gut feeling and you go along with things anyway, and you just find yourself being miserable and you're just kind of in this like hamster wheel of being in a relationship that just, it takes more than it gives, if it gives anything at all. And I wanted to follow it up with a video this week on how to set boundaries. So it's great to be able to recognize these things, but then what do we do about it? So the first thing I would say is to be calm. And that is something that's so hard to do when somebody's attacking us or somebody's saying something to us, sometimes intentionally, even if they don't think it's true. Once we're thrown and we start, kind of fumbling around, we can act in a way that's not dignified or doesn't really represent us, and we just become defensive and say silly things and clearly out of control. And staying calm and assertive at the same time is just almost imagining yourself as a tree with the roots from your legs going into the ground and just feeling really stable and not letting the other person knock you over or the situation to knock you over. And even if you have to visualize that and imagine yourself being this tree grounded into the earth and not being able to be knocked over, it really helps because we have something to lean into. And also just taking the focus on the imagery can help us disconnect a little bit from what is going on around us. The next thing that I would say is know when to speak and what not to speak. And this is something that's really, really hard to do. When someone's coming after us, we want to defend ourselves, we want to be able to say something back to them, we want to say something smarter, say something better. And many times, if we can be honest with ourselves, it may even mean that later on, when the whole situation's over and we're by ourselves, we think about all the things that we could have and should have said. We can't always say the right thing, and sometimes it's better not to feel that we need to say the right thing, because we can get into a thing of trying to trump somebody, trying to overplay, and also just trying to just over explain something. And sometimes just no response is a response. It gives the other person an opportunity to think about what they're doing, because the tennis match has ceased to exist. Another thing that you may want to consider is just to focus on the facts. Focusing in on the facts helps because it just gives us a more of an analytical mind. And again, it's the same concept as, grounding ourselves like a tree into the ground, staying strong, staying focused, not feeling that we have to over explain ourselves. And that can really help, just staying with the facts and not allowing yourself to get thrown off and then probably say things that either diminish our standpoint or just egg somebody else on to say something meaner, nastier, more hurtful, whatever that is. Another thing that's worked for me is when somebody keeps asking you a question. So it could be an invitation or it being insistent about something, and just they keep asking, and no matter how many times you try and say no, this isn't going to work for me or whatever, they just keep coming in and keep coming in and keep coming in. Something that somebody advised me to do, and it really worked, is just to keep repeating the same sentence. Just stick with one answer and keep repeating it if necessary. And again, it kind of goes back to grounding ourselves, keeping ourselves strong. The next thing that I would say has worked for me really well is to just indulge in self-care. I know for myself, when I feel better, when I'm taking care of myself, I'm just able to manage stress better. And even these stressful situations, they may not be with us every day, they may be with us every day, but taking care of ourselves helps us keep stronger. We get brain fog, we don't function quite as well when we're not taking care of ourselves. So just being able to take care of ourselves will really make the difference. And also to have a support system in place. Again, for me, that's worked so wonderfully. I've had friends that I knew I can call and say, this is what's going on. And not that they could tell me what to do exactly and it would make it all go away, but it was somebody that I can talk things out with. It was somebody that I can process with. It was somebody that would understand me, somebody who would support me, somebody that would tell me that everything's going to be okay and that I'm okay. And having that support system and having people love you after you've been taking care of yourself being strong, being very focused, it makes a big difference because you feel like it's not all on you. And the last thing that I would say is there are times that we have to recognize that we just have to walk away. And that can be super, super painful. It can be something that we don't want to face. It could be something that hurts so much. But when we think about the alternatives and being in a relationship with somebody who's not going to respect us, sometimes we have to walk away. That's part of the self-care. That's part of really treating ourselves with the love that we can in order to move forward. And, I talk about this all the time. It's a whole sense of living authentically. It's spiritual sovereignty. And all of that has to do with living with purpose and being here for a purpose, whatever that purpose is. We may not always know that when we're here, but if we are focusing on people who are abusive, harsh, not treating us fairly, or we just don't feel that it's a good match. It's something that we walk away and we always feel like we have a pit in our stomach, we feel badly about ourselves. This can lead to just being obsessive about the relationship. And sometimes it's best just to walk away. And if you're tied in some way, having a cordial relationship, not getting into all the nitty gritty, not getting emotional, not going back and forth, keeping yourself safe. And that's what I believe boundaries are really all about. It's keeping us safe, because in certain situations with certain people, we may not be safe or we don't feel safe. And this is just a way to protect ourselves. If you're going through something that you feel you don't know what to do, and you're in a situation where you don't feel you're being treated very nicely or fairly, I hope these tips help you in your journey in moving forward and living the best life that you can possibly live. If you like this, please subscribe, comment, and like. And until next time, thanks so much for watching.